ne boyede nka yenya trainer yepe.
You need political will. So the political will is there.
Big talking, no action.
Friday, yeah, traffic and open. Nipa bet traffic musa. Oh, in the name of train road and yeju. Ya kuka na de ni nyina to amaska. Na wo mame a wo fie no, e yare a wo be wusi wo kof ware foforo aba. Wo ko ware foforo aba, foforo no mbeduru ye, wa wudi nka akuni ho no. Na bibi tu anwan na ebe save
funding. L'argent.
Confidence has always we are always the preferred alternative. We have always been the preferred alternative.
Several years ago, Ghana's railway system was central to movement, trade, and daily life. From the colonial era through the early post-independence years, trains connected key towns and cities, transporting cocoa, minerals, goods, and people with relative efficiency. Stations were active, schedules were predictable, and towns such as Nsawam, Takrade, and Kumasi developed around the steady rhythm of the rails. The railway was not only a means of transport, it supported economic activities, reduced travel time, and provided a dependable alternative to road transport. For many, it was the most affordable and efficient way to move across regions. Today, that system has largely declined. Several rail lines are inactive, infrastructure has deteriorated, and services remain limited. In many areas, tracks have been removed or left unused, and stations that once served as economic centers now stand underutilized. As the railway weakened, pressure on road transport increased. Traffic congestion has intensified, travel times have lengthened, and transport costs have risen. What was once a functioning national network is now a constrained system struggling to meet the demands it once carried with ease. In Nsawam, the remnants of a once thriving railway station persist. For many residents, the railway was not merely transport, it was essential to daily life.
Matna in some railways for about 28 years. Okay, regarding railways, no, the time nana we train here Juma I'm saying. I'm very busy. Now I'm saying na transport business no so na ma kwan ho nchoki sa. This time no because of training ni warning no ema most times na nyumre during market days na ema omo be digwa ha no say na omo ko no ema omo brepa o cars no ade
10 years di manya okromo ha nso meti akra first meti akra na me wada braka me ba ha be fa nyama ye de good training ena ye de ko na yakoyi o train station ho na me da fa taxi da ko adabraka
and time at train eye adwuma won sam ha no fine na ye wa ni je omo ton ade because train fi Kumasi na e ba to be frankly na market no e koso bibia koso aha ye de passengers omo ko Accra the bia multi say yes na aha ye de papa say trains e ma biem no to be frank ye ho kire yen
e boa pa if you say ka ho ye den a ahamachi wo say obi e bom pa say kope wo say obi di America if say no kwa na me say ne fair na ye den e wo fem kakra nti so obi a okọ adwuma nim say ne sika ndo so saa no ene na e boa no a otimi ko eba.
Some residents express a preference for train travel over road transport, citing high fares and prolonged travel times.
Lolly fare no e wo from mine. Lolly fare no e wo from mine. So say na ko say ka ho aye din eni nyama ne pan de woko a asi wo amasama e bi wo ho se poku ase na wasi wo ho nso okọ akra o nso obeji poku ase ka e lolly fare na so de woko a na akosi wo nyina ye chiachia lolly fare na bedu akra no na ka ba ko tinemu no na wa chia lolly fare say 2 wo ma na 3 wo.
Transportation ase na wabeka obi ane ne price oji obi ane ne price obi wonu mo wabeka jo se me nkwa akra me kwa masama tina ese ofukosi ya masama sa wafa bi ato aso nipa no bi wa tika nim kwakodu masama na osan lodu akra mega cars boa trains so boa but me cost traffic ni ho keka ho dia me choose train cause train efa nipa dodo chinka. 2 the cost no of him. 3 be a safety ati ade e bia yenam accident ni ade
sesi a training ni ho no in fact enkrofo bebre wo car wo ho but traffic nti enkrofo bebre wo car say train wo ho right now a nke be boa papa train prices no e wo fom etin cars kra
Trains dey wo mu if say train wo ho so e boa manfo pa esa hamachi nipa e bodom pe me ko train station ko pe train afo akono de na nipa no do so pa oh say na train de na e wo fam kra train de na e wo fam you say the drivers in obi ade ope na oje wutina mu a na nyafo we see
they fine every say ye ko a me kai say emra na me ma me na nate ase no ye ko ti say ye ko Kotoku side a train na ye de ko but to be boa yen e boa ye kire say ye lolly fare so to meti kakra.
But has life remained the same since the removal of the railway?
it's a train back there and kebe boy but as for me there ama nyama bebre asesa nyama bebre asesa bebre na omo ye djuma training mun so edi nyom nsa no omo nsa no ejuma na ade no omo mo na so training no munyo mu free compared to now no bebre na titifie
ati ye bebre ense nyama na ye de fruit tre ba no e bi mba ha biom nyama bia ye de be fatre aba e be da form kakra ma wo so wator no entumi mba biom
minute no abadown amwaye won ye business mu ye niam mu bebre amwaye
Anya juma na say anu ahwere yen ana afen so ahwere yen no nso no den kai kai woni da so say anka ensambre biom nanka eba nanka aye faso amayen enso ye ni meba ye ho so no omo atutu trader de nyina afre motutu trader de no motutu de nyina na aka kitwa bi peda ye ni mu ha.
Residents indicate that the station was closed without prior notice, despite repeated assurances by successive governments to revive the railway.
Mo ye o madwin say nansan ana ye say mo beye train kwan no nanka train aba ba mo de o masa be kan ye no beye 3 years no o ma ntimi anye kwan train no so ama biem
say ye hu an say o mo beye on beye railway no ena wan wote ho no mu nyom betu o mu nyina free ho store say wo ho nyina o mo bubu free ho enso o mo bubu free ho wie pe na mo pe abo beye car mienu be gu ho no mo nti o mo de car abo ne car ne be gu ho ena wan wo hyedwa ho no mo betena abo no so ena o mo hye o mu dwa nti o mo so mo hyan ma mo say abo na na so many years na mo beye hye wo so ena so mo nyina de o mo san pe kwan san pe containers abesala wo so
nze obi anim ho hwe obi anim ho hwe na obi anim aban ni timupo nti no de ehu ya ne se training ba biem ehu ya ne se training ba biem omua na baako we am se coaches ne baako sia na omo be fa e de koi am se omo twitwa kra wa omo twitwa ne scrap se wa ase ya omo twitwa wie no na railways de na e wa hanom omo de abo be gugu ha se komba be ye omba be ehu ya ne se later omo buy se omo samba be yi ni be bi omo free omo be yi na de ni nyina de koi So to be on you be as to be any moshi.
These promises have not materialized.
The Sambi BS train year Juma or Sam Habiama, a bebo you from papa. A bebo you from pa, a Juma beba, omoya business woman, market woman, omoya business woman, or
but and let's say me fear crab. I can't remember. There's a lot of can I say amount for good kwan car munya bimfo. And tell me what crown and say na train be MC be run it, maybe fear which is Achimota and airbar that area one and I'm. But we had train apart from the Tina drivers, not on our old treat train, near chair for pet. But I'm what, but a train year, Juma, and can any free that time and knitting year be animal car within better 10 minutes to 1 hour near Drew. Oh, it is a train to me bar about Buama says, yeah, moment, ya make us say, well, I need to transport. Ye nyaka near the alcohol. It's a train year, Juma. The
absence of rail services continues to affect daily life, and residents call for the restoration of Nsawam as a rail transport hub.
And I'm a catch a band say, yes, Reno. Our button be a Sreno. So on by your mine now, Eddie. Paiboba Tanechi, no by my year mine as me jembla.
I say, I'm a 7 man, a banya waba for Frone say. Yes, Reno, Oman and Ninaho. Nanado by so be train kwano or the nsabe kan when timi awie by be sre na se on toaso omomodin so be toaso na emoa nsam youth
aban ne de ye de yame ase o de na brey enti no de e kan ne se ne nyuma pa na o ye no nyame mboa no mfa tie no nso enka ho no enti mbe o ye e be boa pa
ye be sre no se e woni tumi mu se obetumi aye de aboa yen de a ye sre no se the train be back na ka ba be adwuma on sanma ene ne mpate wonye sanma nko a first na train na twemu other places be to say ko fodu ane ade nti se the train be back ka be boy pa.
If Nsawam reflects neglect on the outskirts of the capital, Achimota presents a more immediate concern. Only one train operates along this corridor, running from Tema through Spintex, Jowulu, Achimota, and onward to Circle and Accra, with limited stops in the morning and evening.
Aha, the edis wa buano ba no kra ya twetwa ya nimu na omotwetwa ne nyina Thomas Crafts. Ya twetwa ne nyina na edis wa buone we ne nyina de ba nti se nke ye serious as a nation we nkema.
Even sections of the railway tracks are no longer intact.
Ma rehokra se train kwan pa ti sisi. Ndua kra ye se ye krandua ba ye krandua no ba ye nche bia hwe sika ya se o ye de krandua na edi begu ase. Andi kwansima ye se tutu sa atondua no ne dade ne nyina twetwa aton ama scraps adi ne nyina enye oman na ne ye bonaka se mi wo ahode na mi wotumi a nipa o krandua no de begu ase ye nka me ne be chia ya papa because wa ondua na wo de begu ase na anduru ba bia reason bent na akoto ondua no ba se dade no foforo na ade be ba ukra ne nyina ba ya na wa hyehye ne nyina preko. But one Fabian, would be twice a year than I enjoy. Was a tutu nina. I don't have a scratch question or more the previous one. Yembisa, Sika, more the cran, and the buy. And a quail more fast as I vira, Yabo Hokan, or more question or no more in this can or more 5cc.
Demands for the rehabilitation of the Accra Nsawam line continue among commuters.
Abana so awabana yesre na adwuma de omo bobi na emmom kwan no omo hwe ne enye ne yie na nsan free enkonsan because e konsan first na wo aya na de aduane aba aduane ne free kurase bo e ba be duru ha se na wo beto bia ne bo ofom what I say na se ye enkom mai yentimi nya aduane ka so na e be free baba na wadi traffic m e be duru ha se ne bebre kurase.
Traffic congestion has moved beyond inconvenience to a persistent constraint. The burden extends across individuals, businesses, and the state.
From the national perspective, the economy will suffer when the transport situation is in a mess like we see now. The economy will certainly suffer because if the overall effect of the loss of man hours and then implications for productivity have implications on the economy and of course the state, to put it that way. So yes, for me it is not even an issue of how do we do the segregation in terms of who bears the heaviest of the loss. It's about the fact that at all levels the losses are quite huge.
Time lost in traffic translates directly into reduced productivity and income.
To have an efficient transport system requires a combination of all other players within the transport system working. We can't just have the road transport, the vehicle, as a sole means or source of transport and wish to have an efficient transport system. It doesn't work that way.
Despite this, government investment continues to prioritize road infrastructure, raising concerns about the status of the railway sector.
We seem to have abandoned the railway sector, especially. That sector appears to have been neglected for far too long, for which reason our only source of means has been the road, vehicles, cars, for that matter. Government spends huge amounts of money to do road construction, and few years you are asking yourself, but this road was constructed just a few years ago. How come it is in this state? It's all because of the level of pressure on it. Why? Because the railway sector that ought to complement effectively the transport system is not working. And it's a sad situation.
Questions also arise regarding political will.
There appears to be that unwillingness of the political actors or players that is feeding into what we see now. Why? Because, Khadija, almost every year we see budgets being made for the railway sector. And it's been so, successive government upon successive government. Just the past government even at a point had a whole ministry in charge of the railway sector. As we see ministry in charge of education, there's visible evidence of what is happening over there. There ought to be visible evidence in terms of the gains we make within the railway sector. And we say we see visible evidence in terms of the progress happening within the railway sector. The answer is no, we don't. We don't see that happen. And so you see, you ask yourself, what is the challenge? Certainly, the political work, the lack of it, is a crucial part of it.
However, CEO of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Dr. Frederick Apo, indicates that government remains committed to revitalizing the sector, with operations such as the Kojo Krom train expected to commence by the end of April 2026.
Kojo Krom secondary train has been repaired. It has been repaired. It's going to work by the end of the month. The month is April. And also go to Western region. Kojo Krom to Manso, Kuni Valley. We are adding 8 kilometers to the line to have additional 42 kilometers. So railway is not just the railway moving. You need the lines before railway can move. The political will is there.
Behind the broken tracks are broken livelihoods. Railway workers, once the backbone of the system, now struggle to survive.
Samari take it. Yes. It depends. Me, as I entered from 2017, that was the era of geography. For the first a year and two, I think I was receiving my salary on time. Then after, things started backsliding, and then.
Does the government owe you salary arrears?
As it stands now, the government is paying me 12 months salary.
Francis recounts taking a loan to support his family, only for repayment to consume his delayed salary upon release.
When my salary came on December, I went to the bank.
How many months came?
4 months. So it was 3,800. 1 month is not up to 1,000, I told you earlier. So when I went to the bank, my balance was not even up to 3,800. So I thought maybe I've gotten that amount. Later I went back, they've deducted everything, not even leaving 50 cedis for me. So I went home, I told my wife that because I'm owing the bank, they've deducted everything.
As family men and heads, they need to find ways to provide for their families, hence they are forced to work multiple jobs. Francis tells us he sometimes considers quitting his job at the railway to rely on one of his side jobs.
I have 2 cold storage rooms here. In the evening, I need to help them. They bring their goods. I need to help them pack into the cold room. Sometimes I can work from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock and come and sleep. In the morning, I need to come work too.
That's now, I'm a clerical officer. Weekends, I do Okada. If not, you'll be a useless man at home.
Yes, this woman here in Accra, maybe every week, she'll just import some materials from outside. So we will help her offload the goods from the container. And at the end of the day, maybe she can give us maybe 500 cedi each. So a week, I can even get 1,000 cedi from the woman. So last, I thought maybe, why shouldn't I quit this job and join the woman? For a whole of the month, you won't even get up to 1,000 cedis. And I'm wasting my life here.
Salary arrears have persisted for over a year.
With the help of our union and our union executive, we've tried so many angles, and then we have tried so many spots to get our salary, but it looked like it didn't work. And what the result that comes is that the government don't have funds to pay.
The authority, however, states that funds have been released to address these arrears.
And we were told that at the time there were 1,300 workers. A PwC audit was done, and we realized that the total number of workers was around 960, not 1,300. Okay, so from there, the minister, led by our able minister, Honorable Nipe, with the support of His Excellency the President and the Minister of Finance, released 10 million cedis payment for them. This was November last year to pay the salary arrears. When we realized, we also had to look at strategic way of finding out money to be able to clear the rest of the arrears. And as of what we call it, January 2026, we raised 21.6 million from our obsolete scrap sale to pay them. However, 2 of the subcontractors who were hired to do this job raised an issue that they didn't get the consignment that they paid for 10 million. So, of course, Ministry of Finance are responsible for doing the reconciliation process whenever you pay money into the NTR account. Whenever you sell estate assets, you keep the money in what we call non-tax revenue account at the Ministry of Finance. When they completed the reconciliation process, it was about 2 months. Just as of last week, the Ministry of Finance released 11.6 million cedis to the Ghana Railway Company Limited.
Workers also note that current wages are insufficient as a primary source of income.
Even our managing director knows that railway salary is just a peanut. Not even up to 1,000 cedis.
Company, if you rely on this company, you can never make it in life. I can never lie to you. Unless you attach it with either your own job or so you have to find something to do outside this company, because the salary, it can't even pay your children's school fees.
Vice Chairman of the Railway Workers Union, Anthony Clement, and one of the workers, Francis Aban, call for both rehabilitation and expansion of rail lines, including routes to Kasoa and Adentan.
Please, Mr. Minister, try and fix the Accra Tema by doing that interlacing, not total reconstruction. If you do total reconstruction, it will inconvenience people seriously. And fix the Accra and Sawum. It will ease those traffic going to that place. And if government wants to truly ease the traffic, then you should check the rail line from here to Kasoa area and Adenta area. That one should be a new one. At the existing one, I believe that they should maintain it.
People might think we don't work, or maybe we just come here sitting idle doing nothing. But we've tried our best. As my brother said, if the materials are there, we are willing to do it. So we just want the government to build more tracks and bring in more trains so that it can help the country.
For passengers who rely on the train to get to work on time, they believe the sector ought to be resourced.
Emre bi me fa train na ye kono ni e kofie ye kono nantwie ebe she train ase e ma e bo no yi ni ti no esi fom said no ni kure ni ye kwa ho kire mu pa.
There's some occasions where in the morning it will be moving and then all of a sudden to stop, and then you have to get down, either wait or find an alternative, get another car and then go to work. Yeah.
We got to Jowlu and it broke down, so we have to take cars and go back to work. So I was late to work that day.
Despite these challenges, many still prefer train travel.
Me fa train na e bo ma me green tam na so me baby papa tina mama me home by me.
One of the main reasons why I picked the train is because their timeliness. They are quite time conscious. So I'm able to get to work way before time, to work. But the trotro, even sometimes when you're able to even get it early, sometimes the delays on the road, the traffic that you face.
This is way affordable. For train, when I'm using a train, I spend 15 cedis in the morning. In the evening, I spend 10 cedis. But when I'm taking trotro, I spend close to 35 cedis in and out. So it's way affordable that trotro we take.
Fuka, ubedi traffic musa, ubeba kodun no aye late to adwuma mu. Se obi adwuma na wo ya, obetumi ayiwedi. Ena train so fu a traffic nim. Nti ba bia ubesi ne dura na wasi na wo ko adwuma so. Eno nti ni train de enka wo hoda bia mayen a anka eboa yen.
Because the train is less costly. It doesn't wait for anyone. It has a time that it moves, not like the ordinary vehicles that we use, like the trotro. For the train, when it's exactly around 6:15, whether the train is full or not, it moves, making it very fast because it's time bound. So it gets to its destination at exactly this amount of time, and there's no traffic too on the way where it needs to stop. So I think the train is very fast and also very cheap.
Passengers highlight the need for increased investment to reduce congestion and travel time.
Eno kwese train no so no eno ka ho na ma traffic nso adoso ewo krom the train doso na ebi ikota krade ebi ko ha ebe ma car fo no bebre no aba fom.
We have more railways. Everyone can get to work very early. The more the railways, the more early we get to work, because if let's say we run shifts 6 a.m., one moves at 6 a.m., one moves at 7. So those who get to work around 9 can use the 7 a.m. train. Those who want to get early to work can use the 6 a.m. train. So it's way better than the trotro.
Nihad, a regular train passenger, calls for increased public awareness to encourage patronage.
People don't know about the railway because for my office, for instance, I'm the only one who uses the railway, and when they found out that I use it, they were really surprised to know that the railway system in Ghana works. So if we make people aware of the railway, they'll patronize it more, and it's going to make people more productive, and it's going to also raise funds for the government as well.
Concerns remain regarding ventilation and hygiene, though many still consider the service generally safe.
As far as I can tell, yeah, it's safe. I think it is. Aside the issue of hygiene and then ventilation, I think everything else is okay. Ventilation and then the hygiene, that's all.
It's a bit dusty, especially when you come to sit down. It's very dusty. You need to clean the chairs at all times. Otherwise, you dirty what you are wearing. Right, and sometimes, a few times with ventilation issues, the air is not able to come in very well as you expected.
Normally, during the dry season, the dust. When you dress, before you get to the office, your dress is dirty. That's the only disadvantage about the train.
passengers further advocate for expansion to additional regions.
It will be good for the train line to be expanded to maybe Kasua, to Insawam, and everywhere, so that the people park their cars and enjoy the train, so they can get to work early.
Kasua and Insawam and Co. would have been a good places where the line should have been going, and it would have raked a lot of revenue for them. But because no money has been pumped into the sector, it becomes very difficult for this expansion to be done.
If the government can help us, I know the building of the railway line is very expensive, but if the government can help us so that we find transport easily.
A passenger emphasized the need to prioritize railway worker welfare.
The needed attention that they should give to the railway is not given. We hear that, for example, the workers have not been paid for about the past 10 to 12 months. Exactly, they have not been paid. So it tells you the challenges in the sector.
The theft of rail components also presents an ongoing challenge.
Because when you walk through the railway with your barefoot, you could see some of the metals have been cutting. Security should be very tight. And some people living around the railways too, they don't keep that place neat at all. Always the nasty things around. There should be a security.
Despite these issues, demand for rail services persists.
I can say that because I'm sure it's been a long time we've had trains in Ghana, so it would just be right if things would be done properly. This whole thing could be changed. I think a better one could be brought. I've seen a better one on other sides of Ghana, so this particular one being changed to be better.
Kachira say yesterday na wonye yemwa. He said, "You better abo, ankre. Yenya na yeto aba." And he say, "Ya hwachiri ye wonye mebi ho a, onipa na ekoto aba kwa wonwinwi. Za me ekoto aba ekran fa so be na menya." Enti no, so otimi ye yemwa na adwadifo, ye futin ye koye ba no. Ye ho henha yen a, ebe ye aniji bebre.
The mama culture na yeswan de ma wase no. So onye ye bi anto bi nkan kwa kwa ma wase wonye ni ye na on.
Elsewhere in West Africa, alternative outcomes are evident. In Senegal, the Dakar Regional Express train has improved urban mobility. Commute times reduced from over 90 minutes to under 45 minutes. High passenger capacity and efficiency. Reduced road congestion. Lower transport costs. Traffic congestion has eased, productivity has improved, and economic activity has expanded. The contrast is evident. Where rail systems function effectively, cities operate more efficiently. Where they do not, movement is constrained.
We once had a vibrant sector. What happened now? In common asset management, to maintain your asset, you need to look after it. If you look at the structure integrity, if you look at the maintenance, because of lack of these, what I call good maintenance practices, it has led to what we call asset deterioration.
But does the Ghana Railway Development Authority accept that the absence of a vibrant railway system has been a major contributor to the traffic congestion in the country?
I agree with you. The lack of development of railway as an alternative to road, okay, is a contributing factor of the congestion on the roads. However, it is also important to know that railway development is a high capital intensive approach.
Questions remain regarding the balance between road and rail investment.
The rail sector is a priority. It has always been a priority in the development. However, we don't have endless budget, or our budget is finite in itself. So basically, we are dealing with the limited resources that we have. Yes, it is not afterthought. The intention of the government was to look at roads and rail together. But when we came and we opened the books and we saw what was there, a priority arrangement must be to allow the government to prioritize, okay, fine. It's not it's not a matter of saying that railway is not important. No.
Ghana faces a strategic choice. One part sustains dependence on roads, prolonged congestion, stranded citizens, and lost time. The other restores rail as a viable alternative for efficiency and